which is having an urban YAG. And having an urban YAG is having a good advantage because when the absorption is very high by the water, so the steps for thermal effect on the tissue will be minimal. So if I want one step, I'll use a very short pulse duration. If I want more of a thermal effect, then I'll extend the pulse duration in order to get more thermal effect. So I can control very much the steps I'm taking, and in this case I have the control. This was the rationale behind having such a device. So it's very precise light tissue interaction due to the highly efficient absorption of the wavelength of the urban YAG, 2940 in water. And then the TRL is called the tunable resurfacing laser for independent control of tissue vaporization and tissue heating. If I want to get ablation only, I use short pulse duration. If I want to achieve sub-ablated fluence in long pulse train for coagulation, then this is what we do. So we can achieve by this way patient-tuned results. So select and optimize the treatment depth, superficial to deep. So we can start from 25 microns of ablation to 1500. And this is a very wide range, regardless if you are going to use all that or no, but this is an option we have. We can cover whatever we want from the area, I mean percentage, ratio of ablation and thermal zone which control with controlled coagulation, and then we accommodate each patient needs or anatomy, skin types 1 to 6, desired outcome, tolerance for downtime, and there is something called emulate in the machine, where if you want to work like an urban YAG, then you push a button and it will give you the thermal model of the urban YAG, which is more ablation and much less coagulation. If you want to achieve the effect of the YSGG, where it has balanced ablation and coagulation, you push the button and it will give you the balanced ablation and coagulation. If you want to work like a CO2, then it will give less ablation and more coagulation. So with one device, you can have whatever thermal model you might achieve with any other device. This is the objective here. So you can, with this device, achieve a microlaser peel where you can ablate up to 50 microns. You can achieve tunable resurfacing laser where you can combine ablation and coagulation up to the depth of 330 microns. Or you can get profraction starting from 25 microns up to 1.5 millimeter. And this is something which we might use only in cases of hypertrophic scars or keloids, where instead of doing the CO2 drilling, we can use this device in a fractional mode with ablation only, with large depth of ablation in combination with the intralesional steroid injection, and in this case we get very good regression of hypertrophic scars. So this is how actually it works. It creates clean microablated channels covering a fraction of the total surface area, activates fibroblast production and rejuvenate the collagen matrix. It leaves surrounding skin intact for faster healing. Optionally adds thermal effect for additional collagen remodeling. So if we are dealing with a case of wrinkles or acne scars, definitely we need some coagulation. But if you are dealing with very superficial pathology, just rejuvenation where the skin is in a good condition, then we don't need the coagulation. So you have the option of selecting coagulation or no coagulation. The patient's benefits: increased patient comfort, short downtime. Clinical results can range from subtle to dramatic. So the depth of ablation can be controlled according to the pathology. For example, for pigments, we don't need very high depth, very superficial is enough. For fine lines and wrinkles, we get balanced or medium depth. And for deep scars and acne scars, we go a little bit deeper. Also, the coverage density. Ideally, we should cover 20% of the surface of the skin. To achieve good fractional outcome, we need to cover 20%. So this can be done by selecting 11% and do 2 pass, or select 22% coverage and then only single pass on the skin. Also the coagulation we can control to get the thermal effect of the different models. So this is coagulation level 1, which is going to give you 50 microns of coagulation. Level 2 will give you 100 microns, and level 3, which usually you don't need in darker skin types, this gives 150 microns of coagulation. And this is the histopathology, which is showing no coagulation with level 0. And then level 1 is associated with 50 microns of coagulation. Level 2, 100, and level level-free 150 coagulation. So it's tunable. It gives you whatever you need to get in order to achieve the best outcome with the highest safety. And this is the inhalation. Again, histopathology, this is the CO2, and this is the profraction without any coagulation, and this is with coagulation. So we can see that it is much more mild than the CO2. And this is something we cannot control. For example, if you are having a fractional CO2, it is a certain thermal model you cannot control. If you decrease the energy, the efficacy will be much less. But the thermal model is the same. It is the absorption of the CO2 by water. This is something we cannot control in a wavelength like the CO2. So the treatment goals here is to remove the visible signs of skin damage, rejuvenate dermal collagen matrix for improved tone and texture, provide safe, effective, and short downtime. And the applications are skin resurfacing, coagulation of the soft tissue, and this could be the outcome. We can see the improvement in the texture of the skin, lines. We can see here also the marionette lines. Also here the solar keratosis, scarring here. Even in Asian skin is very much prone for hyperpigmentation. So in this case, we can use safe parameters. So this is 20 micron ablation, and then 200 micron, and then in the second treatment 300, and then 450. And this was the outcome without hyperpigmentation. Also here, ablation without coagulation. We can see the improvement in the texture. Pigmentation usually is not the appropriate target for the fractional lasers, because those are lasers which are absorbed by water, not by melanin. So the melanin is not going to be the target for that. Non-specifically, if the melanin comes in an area of the necrosis, it will be slab, but the recurrence might happen. So we have to keep that in mind, that we are not targeting the pigment, we are targeting the water. Here also we can see good improvement in the texture. This is the pore size, and we can see the improvement in the pores. Texture, very good texture improvement as well. Scars, it can improve using the fractional laser. We have many cases of scars which improved nicely after using the fractional lasers. Also here, this is in a slightly dark skin, and you can see the improvement and the rejuvenation effect. This is acne scars. Also, this is 8 months after 2 treatments. This is the same case which we showed before. Now, sometimes we need to do skin tightening as well. So for this, we have the infrared light from a device called Skin Tight, which can be combined with the same device. And it's important to note that skin tightening procedure volume, these are the expectations of the market surveys, will rise from 668,000 in 2008 to almost 2 million in 2013. So it is something which is still attractive. It utilizes broadband of near-infrared light, which is very important because this is not absorbed by the melanin. So regardless of the skin type, it will work well. It is targeting the water. Heating triggers dermal collagen contraction and remodeling. Thermal effect promotes partial denaturation of the collagen, leading to contraction, initiates the body natural healing process. So it stimulates the fibroblast activity, creates new collagen foundation, and leads to increased skin firmness. The high energy for an extended time, so this is very important. This is a long pulse. So it leads to slow heating of the dermis. Energy is absorbed by the water and transferred deep into the surrounding tissue. Large sapphire crystal maintains cooling of the epidermis during energy delivery and after, enables the use of the high energy to reach greater depth. Treatment is relatively comfortable and safe, and there is no downtime. So we cool the surface, we heat the dermis up to 65 degrees, and this will lead to the effects we mentioned before. This is showing that the treatment area is cooled by the cooling, and the surrounding area is going to heat up, and this will lead to good improvement in the skin. The treatment areas, the lower face and submental, reduction of the submental fullness, accentuation and definition of the jawline, reduction and narrowing of the jaws, softening of the nasolabial folds, upper face, abdomen, arms, thighs, and hands. The device can be standalone or in combination with a large platform, so it can be in either of the forms according to the need. And the treatment area is large, and this is very important because this will be reflected on the speed of the treatment. At the same time, if you want to treat small areas, like around the eye or whatever, then you have adapters to treat smaller surfaces and areas. And this shows that if we want to treat a 400 centimeter square area, we need 27 minutes. Compared to any other device, it's much less, and this is very important. It's very important to remember always the challenges in the skin firming, which is no device achieve 100% satisfaction, maximum effect is long term, no devices address surface texture and uneven colors, so we have to combine the procedures with other procedures. But demand is strong, patients continue to request tightening, and media continues to drive patients into the practice. Those are some of the examples of achievement we can get. This is the abdomen. Mild laxity can improve. Hand rejuvenation is becoming one of the popular requests of the patients. Also on the abdomen, mild laxity. Now, the final topic I would like to stress here is something related to the facial analysis and imaging, because as long as we are talking about rejuvenation, sometimes the procedure we do are going to take effect very gradually. And when it happens very gradually, the patients will not observe the improvement. It's not an acute effect. So it's very important to document and analyze the problem in order to be able to discuss with the patient the procedures we need. So the concept of facial analysis is to acquire photos in controlled environment. Why controlled environment? Because keeping the same illumination every time is not easy if I'm using just a standard camera.